Hello, and my name is Eli Walker, and I'm here to show you how to do the first SAM project in Comp 1000 for the Word 2016. It's week 3, Word 2016, Module 1 for the summer semester. Your semester might be different. Of course, the first thing that we would want to do here is we're going to want to go ahead and download the directions. When you download the directions, you'll get a screen that will look something like this. I encourage you to go ahead and click on the Enable Editing section here, click on File, and then go ahead and print this to your local printer. If you happen to be in class at Central Georgia Tech, there might be a free copy of, there's a free hard copy of this somewhere in your classroom. But at our point over here, these are going to be our instructions, and this is what we're going to be working on. It will give you a series of instructions on over here, and some of these instructions are you're going to have to do before we start on our project steps here. If you look on over here, it says the first thing to open up the file over here. I'll move this over here to the side. Open up the file SDC WC16 1A first name underscore 1.docx. And then from doing that, it's going to want you to then save the file as scwd16 again underscore 2. Now let me show you how to do that. I'll move this aside over here for just a moment, and then we're going to go ahead and click on this. We're going to open this with Microsoft Word, and we have a file here that already has, oops, sorry, we have a file here that already has the information that we need on it. We're going to be modifying this file, and it's going to be our submitted assignment. So we're going to first of all click on Enable Editing. Having done that, we're going to go ahead and click on File. And since it instructed us to save it under a different name, we'll save as. And in this case here, we'll go ahead and go into our section here on Word. And again, this is going to be in our 2017, Spring 2017 Comp 1000 Word folder here. And where it says SC underscore WD16 underscore 1A underscore Eli Walker, which in my case is my name. If you have this downloaded correctly, it should be your name. And then it's going to have an underscore 1-1 or 1. We're going to back this on up over here and type in the number 2. If you do not type in the number 2, it will not make a correct copy for you to submit at a later time. So we need to take care of this at this time. Also, be careful because the instructions actually tell you to type in the words 2.docx. Do not do that because when we save this as a Word document, it's going to put that .docx here as an extension itself, and if you type it in, it's going to read as .docx, and you will not be able to submit your finished file. So let's go ahead and save this here. And just a moment on over here, and then finally, of course, we have our file here, which is ready to go. Now, I'm going to move this on over here, actually, and for just a few moments, move this over here to this side, and hopefully have it go ahead and move this on over here, and then we'll have our items on over here side by side. Now an easy trick here is while we have this window side by side here, if we want to, and again I'm just going to be doing this here because you should be reading from another screen, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move this over here to the side, and these two items are going to be flush. I'm doing this by choosing an active window, and I'm holding down my Windows key here and then hitting my left button or my right button. So, and in actuality, let me go ahead and do this around the other way here. So it will actually look a little bit better, and we'll want to go ahead and bring this over here. So in this case here, we've gone ahead and we have, again, downloaded this, and this is our information. From here on out, I'm going to go ahead and do one other thing. Moving back over here, it tells us that we want to also download the file here support SC WDC 16.1a range. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to save this file. We're not going to open it, but we're going to save it. Now the browser that I'm using is Firefox. If you're using Firefox, you'll get similar responses in this. If you're using Chrome, you might get some different responses. But again, I'm hoping if you use Chrome, then you'll know where to go for your downloaded documents. We do ask that you do not use Internet Explorer when you're working with SAM because it just simply does not play well with our SAM interface. If I click on over here onto this area here where it says support, there's my rain file. So in this case here, I'm just going to go ahead and leave that as it is. Okay, and at this point here, I'm going to go ahead and minimize that. We're going to go on the assumption that you have a copy of the instructions. Looking here again, we've seen all this information here. The last thing that we want to be aware of is that the footer does not display your name, delete it, and download a new copy from SAM. Here's the key here. So I'm going to come on over here, maximize this, and looking on down here at the very bottom, this file was created specifically for Eli Walker. Well, that is indeed my name, so I know that I'm working with the correct file. Now we're going to go ahead and do our project steps here. And I'm going to show you how to do this and also how to go ahead and submit it. So our questions over here is to help coordinate an audition for a local community theater and creating a flyer for the event. We're going to begin this flyer by changing the document theme colors to green. So in our case on over here, let's go ahead and take a look here into our design here, and excuse me. I apologize. So yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll look on over here into design, and right here are our colors. And so I'm going to pop this on down over here. I'm going to move this down over here. I'm going to choose green. Now again, if you follow along in your textbook, you'll find that almost every step that you're going to do in the textbook is almost in the same order for the project in the textbook as you'll be doing here. Now watch what happens when I apply green here. Again, you have a green tint that is actually applied in here. So we've done that. Step number one, we're going to make the picture of the umbrellas, and this picture here, into a more eye-catching by resizing the picture to 2.1 inches tall. So first thing we need to do here is we need to select the picture, and notice that when we select the picture, we actually get a different change here. So again, double clicking on over in here. If you go to format with the picture, look over here on the size, and in our case here, let me show you a little thing that they don't talk about in the book. We want to be concerned about the aspect ratio. So we're going to lock this aspect ratio. We want to make sure that if the aspect ratio is locked, then if we make a change, say in our height, then our width is also going to change, and it's going to keep that change in proportion to the height. So that way the picture is always going to look correct. So in this case over here, we're going to go ahead and resize the height over here to 2.1 inches tall. We can start clicking over here, and that's 1.5. But I can also just type in 2.5 and hit enter. And somehow or another, what happened was I got off of that, so I apologize for that. But again, pop over here into format, 1.5. We're going to take out all of that, and then type in 2.5. Okay, so now we've got 2.5 inches here, or I'm sorry, not 2.5, 2.1 inches here. So you've got the 2.1 inches here. Now we've got styles on over here for our pictures. So again, we're going to go here back to our design and choose pictures here. And once we have gone ahead and chosen pictures, we're going to go ahead and go to format. all these items over here are picture styles. So we will drop this. Remember, format, picture styles, and we'll drop down. And if we're going to go ahead here, we're going to look for the compound frame black picture style. Now, they're going to give us a little hint here by telling us that it's a frame and it's a black. So I'm going to go to this one here, and that's thick matte black. That's not it. Simple frame black, that's not it. This one here is compound frame black. That is it. So we're going to go ahead and apply that. And now we're also going to go ahead and apply a picture effect. Look over here, we've got our picture effects. Our picture effect that we're going to choose over here is going to be a glow picture effect. And in this case over here, it's going to be a green 5-point glow accent color 1 picture effect. So again, 5-point glow accent glow 5-point green, or green 5-point glow accent color 1. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that. Make sure you'll see the differences here in all of these as you go over them. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to choose this again. Glow 5-point picture effect, and there you have it there. Okay, now at this point on over here, we drop on down to the next point. Your flyer will be used to invite community members to audition for a musical. Draw attention to the flyer's headline paragraph auditions as follows. So this right here is our headline paragraph. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to double click in this to select that entire paragraph here. But one other thing we want to do, we probably want to look at our paragraph marks. So let's move on over here. As long as we have home, we're going to come over here and hit this little, looks like a Q item here, and it's going to show us every little mark in here. Every time you see this little Q, what that means is that that's the end of a paragraph, and the start of a new one comes at the next line. So in our case, on over here, we're going to go ahead and, as I said, we're going to go ahead and change this paragraph spacing here. So here we have the paragraph. Pop on over here into layout, and we'll see over here that in spacing, since we have chosen this, it's going to be the spacing before to 12 points. Now, if we want to, we can just type in 12 points if we wanted to, and I think I will on that one, and then hit enter, and then change this paragraph spacing after to 18. I can click on this and I can actually move it up here. Oops, there you go. So there's 18. Here, we're going to change the case to uppercase. And to do that, we'll go over here to our home. And on over here, these arrows right here in our font, if you move this on up, well, that'll increase your font size. This will decrease your font size. This right here will change your case. So if we click on this and just hit on uppercase or hit Control U, it will go ahead and make that change there too. We're going to change the font from 28, it says over here, to 36. So let's do that puppy there. And then lastly, we're going to center the paragraph. So here's our paragraphs on over here. If we hit center, there we are on that. The date April 5th over here right underneath, if we go to step number 4, we'll highlight April 5th. And remember here, I'm just highlighting the point where it starts with the A and it ends with the 5. I am not highlighting these two dots that are at the beginning of the A or the end of the 5 because those represent space marks. That's because I used this. So again, we've gone ahead here and we have highlighted again the April 5th point over here. And now we're going to go ahead and hit B for bold, or if we want to, we could just hit Control B there. And then, of course, we'll move on down over here to our step 5. Now, step number 5 reads, add the phrase as follows to the paragraph beginning actors, singers, and dancers. So please prepare for the audition. So we're going to click over here at, right next to the N, and we're going to go ahead and insert the phrase as follows. Space as follows. And that, of course, will also leave the colon there, and we'll leave the rest of it there. We're going to create a bulleted list over here in 6 that begins with the paragraph Adult Singers Music with You. Okay, so there you've got Adult Singers and Music uh, uh, with You, and ending with the paragraph Youth Singers at the Audition. Okay, so in this case here, what that means is we will simply highlight all of these. Um, and having done this, we're going to come over here to our paragraphs, and this part over here is going to insert bullet points. Now these are default round bullet points, which is what we want, but if we wanted to add some, we could simply drop on down here and add the circles, the check marks, and so forth. Don't worry, that's changing over here, it's just giving you a preview. We're going to go ahead and go back over here and hit that bold in here. Also, you'll notice that since we have our formatting marks in here, it's showing that we have a space between our bullet points in the beginning of this items here. So we're going to emphasize the bullet list on over here. Let's see here. So we've created the bullet list on over there. We're going to change the file, the text of the bullet list to Cambria, C-A-M-B-R-I-A. It's now Calibri. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to come on down here. Now you may have used Cambria recently. If so, it would be up there, but I'm going to go ahead and go on the assumption that you haven't. So I'm going to go ahead and check over here onto Cambria there. And so we've made that change there. And then of course we want to go ahead and change the font color of the text in the bulleted list. Whoops, I changed that. So if we're going to go ahead and we're going to change the font color, we come on over here and we see where that says change the font color. So there's our font color in here. The list to green accent 1, darker 25%. It should be your 5th column, 5th row of our theme colors palette. This is our palette. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I hang over this, it should say green accent 1, darker 25%, and by golly it does. So we'll go ahead and make that check there. Okay, we're going to italicize the text. Tap dancing is encouraged, where it says adult dancers on over here. So again, we've got tap dancing is encouraged. And that's all we're going to go ahead and highlight over here. Okay, so we'll highlight that. And then of course we'll go ahead and we'll italicize it. You do that by hitting Control I or just this button here. Tap dancing is encouraged, and of course, who doesn't like tap dancing? So, delete the sentence accompanies provided in the same paragraph. So let's go ahead and take this puppy on over here. And starting here, we're going to want to go all the way over, but we're not going to take out the paragraph mark. And actually, let me, yeah. See, I made a little error there. In looking carefully, it looks like I took out that period. So I'll just hit my cursor there and just start hitting my delete marks. And I'll take it on out. Now there is something I want to show you here. Watch my mouse here as it comes over here in the upper left hand corner. This right here again is your quick access toolbar. So in our case here, what this does is I call this is the undo button. I call it the Wayback Machine because it will undo something. See, and it'll undo several points here, or it will go ahead and redo those several points. And if you want to, if you look on down here, you'll see all the things that have happened, and you can actually move everything down here to this area and take it on out. We don't have to do that for this, but this is something that's very handy to have later on in case you make a boo-boo. So in this case over here, we've done number 9. We've deleted it since. Apply the outline text effect accent 3 in the row with the theme colors palette to the web address. So in this case over here, here's our web address. We'll select that. And In here, uh, so we're going to go ahead and do the outline text effects. So moving on over here, these are your text effects. So we can go ahead and drop down here, and we're going to apply the outline text effect. The seventh it's going to be accent 3, the seventh column, the first row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 column, lime accent 3, and that's exactly what they want. Okay, and to the entire paragraph, go to number 11. Apply the paragraph shading, line, accent 2, lighter 60%. Um, to the entire paragraph beginning with production information. So if we pop on over here and start with production information. This right here. And now this line here, or excuse me, they say that is okay. Outline, apply the paragraph shading over here to that entire paragraph. Actually, the best way to do this, if I click once, that puts me there. Click twice, chooses a word. Click 3 times, we'll choose the entire paragraph. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now I've chosen that entire paragraph here. So now I'm going to go ahead and do production information. So again, in this case here, we're going to do that shading lime accent 2 lighter 60%. So there's your type effects on over in here. And we move on over here and drop down. This is our shading area. It's our shading box. Sometimes simply refer to it as a paint bucket for reasons I'll explain in class. But in our case on over here, we go ahead and um, apply the lime accent 2, 6 column, 3rd row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so in that case over here, and so that should be, let me move down here for a second. If I move back up, should lime accent 2, um, uh, lighter 60%, and kaboom. There we are. Okay, so we've done that, and we'll go ahead and we'll deselect this. And the blank line after the paragraph beginning with production information, which is this blank line here, and we're going to want to get in front of that P. So in this in this particular see on over here in this line here, we'll go ahead and in this we're going to insert. Okay, we're going to insert a picture. And the picture that we're going to get, we're going to come over here into our downloads because we just downloaded one here. And we're going to choose to support SC Singing in the Rain. Boom, boom. Okay, now that's a little big. So if you look on over here, our Singing in the Rain, see this, since we have selected a picture here, we have a whole new menu here. So, and we're now in the format menu. So we're going to change this from 3.12 on over here to 1 inch. So I'm going to backspace here and just type in 1, and then I'm going to pull the trigger. And that looks a lot better, don't you think? We're going to apply the center of vertical alignment to the entire page. And in the center vertical alignment, this is the one where a lot of people get mixed up on, and sometimes I do too. So on over in here, in the center vertical alignment. Okay, and as I was saying before, if you're going to go ahead and go to step number 13, which is to apply the center vertical alignment to the entire page, you want to go ahead and first take a look at page number WD41. where it reads to center a page horizontally. So in order to do that, we're going to go over here to Layout here. And then in this case here, we'll hit the Page Setup dialog box. And remember, the dialog boxes are these little buttons here. So I'm going to click on that. And now, in this case here, we're going to pop over here from not margins or paper, but to layout. Now the vertical alignment is top. We're going to go ahead and move this over here to center. And then we're going to click on OK. And that will go ahead and move everything down just a little bit. So we're almost done. We want to go ahead and finish up on number 14, and then we'll go ahead and do our submission. So we're going to finish the flyer by adding a page border as follows. In our case on over here, we're going to go ahead going back over here to design, then click over here into our page borders. And in our page borders here, we're going to select the border style of our choosing. In this case here, we're going to do the fourth option of this border style. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's just do it like this. You can choose any one you want. Over here, we're going to change the border width from 1/2 to 2 1/4. So if you look on over here, so that's 2 1/4 points there. And in this case here, we're going to change the border color from automatic to turquoise, which is going to be the 10th column in the 5th row. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that should read turquoise accent 6, darker 25%. Boom. And then we'll click on OK. Now at this point here, your document should look like it does on the second page over here, or excuse me, of the third page that you have. So in my case here, it should look sort of like this. And if I go ahead and move these aside, and then I move this one aside again, hitting my Windows key and my left key, I can certainly go ahead and see how they both, coming on over here. And maybe move this down just a little bit of a tad here. There. But again, you should see that the auditions, this should look something like this. So there's our figure there. Singing in the Rain auditions, April 25th, and so forth. So, in our case right here, this is our instruction. So we'll go ahead and minimize that. I'm going to maximize this. And again, going back over here, going back over here to my instructions, actually move my instructions off over here. So they're going to want you to go ahead here, and we're going to save the changes. Remember to save your changes, folks, and always remember when you're saving, click on File, Save As, and make certain that you're saving it where you think that you're saving. This one's going to be on my OneDrive. Central Georgia Technical College, spring 2017. My class is Comp 1000, and this is a Word document. I encourage all of y'all to make a folder for each semester in which you're in college with us, and make another folder for each class. That way it will enable you to keep your documents apart from each other. If you don't, it's going to end up looking pretty bad. You wouldn't think so, but again, it certainly will. So in this case over here, we're going to click over here again on Save. It already exists on one to replace, and yes, I do. Okay, so now at this point here, let's go ahead and we'll come on back over here to our original document here. So we're going to go ahead and we need to now submit it. Clicking here onto Browse. So here into Browse, again, we're going to go ahead and go into our OneDrive in Central Georgia Technical College, spring 2018, and oops, it's not there. So here, I would want to go ahead, I would want to browse. I actually, to be honest with you folks, I did get lost there for a second. I just have way too much stuff on my computer here. So in my case here, I'm going to my data drive here. In this case, documents and settings, into my documents. Okay, Central Georgia Technical College. spring 2018. And again, here's this file here. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on submit. Now, since I've hit on submit, we'll give it a few seconds. And if it is successful, the name's correct and so forth, no viruses, the file format's correct, and the file scan is okay, there we go. So at this point here, what I need to do is I go ahead and I need to, excuse me, I need to go ahead here and to look at my reports. And in my reports on over here, you'll see that there's a report for 11:06. Excuse me, it looks like 11:03 p.m. I'm going to open up this report and see how it went. We open up with Firefox, and I made a 97 out of 100 here. And what happens here is I probably made a silly mistake, so I'm going to move on down here. Oh, and I went right past that one, and that's not the first time I did that. Apply a text effect to the phone number here using the Lime Accent 3 text effect. I just skipped that one. So in order to make my 100, what I want to do is I want to go back to my original document here. Oops, sorry. Go ahead and go on back to my original document. And come on over here, select this point on over here, and then make the text effect that I need to um, uh, actually be doing here. So again, I'm not going to actually go through all that, but bottom line is I would make that effect and then resubmit for a proper grade. So if we take a look on over here and take a quick review of what it is that we did. Also, before I'll let you go, of course, we do want to see about the study guide. So it's going to tell us anything that we need to do here in order to study any things that we might have missed. So in this case here, it's going to say that you've pretty much, or in my case here, I've pretty much done everything. If I click on any one of these, such as inserting a format document in there, it will go ahead and will take me to some training in here. And any one of these items I want to go ahead and retrain in, I would just go ahead and click on here, for example here, and it will go ahead and give me an opportunity to do that training again. As I said, it will go ahead and take you through this and give you a little video on how to do it and so forth. We're not going to go through that because of course we can go ahead and go through that in class. Well, that concludes our little assignment for the day. I want to thank y'all for joining me for this. If you have any questions, I do want y'all to go ahead and let me know. If I can be of assistance to you in the future, please do not hesitate but to get in contact with me either through my number that's on the syllabus for my office phone, or preferably on over through the messages feature in Blackboard. Again, this has been formatting a Word document in SAM. I'm Eli Walker, and I thank you very much for your time.